everyone. I didn't see you there. What did Mr. Rogers used to say?
Huh?
What did Mr. Rogers used to say? When he would first start the show, he would walk up to the camera. Or he would sit.
Children.
Good morning, children. You could turn that track volume down to, like, it usually has to be minus 20 at the end anyway. In the actual Studio One, I mean.
Yep.
We're back. Welcome back to Jacob V Weekly. We want to start like we do every week by reminding you to check out Caddyshack of Hamel, Illinois. Save a life or 9. They even have a dog this week. Caddyshack has a dog that they just ended up in the custody of, and they're, rehabilitating, rescuing, and he's handsome. I shared him on the Instagram. You can follow the show on any platform: TikTok, Instagram, X, YouTube, Facebook if you're a geriatric monster. Lucius is back here at home with me. We're moving stuff around, getting things dialed in, and celebrating 3 months with my precious infant. Lucius,
Happy 3 months.
There's nothing we could do about the basset hound next door. His name's Bismarck. Lucius, your partner just got back in town from a trip abroad. Of course, he waits all day to call me until I'm recording. I can't talk right now. I tried to call him earlier. It's like,
Who's that?
The guy.
Yeah, the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's too bad.
There's nothing you could do about that. But international travel is kind of spooky right now, is it?
It really
not?
is.
Is it
yeah,
not?
I was definitely scared for her, not just like her.
Were
just
you
for her
worried they
safety.
weren't going to let her back in?
I honestly was. If I'm going to be completely honest, I was, because they're stopping whoever looks different. She definitely.
I have Puerto Rican friends who, I know one Puerto Rican guy who explained that he got nervous on his way back from Tijuana last time he went.
That's a very dangerous zone to be in. I'd even be more scared.
Because he's Puerto Rican, so at first he didn't think anything of it, and certainly didn't have any restrictions on his own individual travel, but coming back into the country,
that's where
could
the
get
trouble
dicey.
is.
He's
Yeah.
fine, though.
That's good. Yeah, like no trouble. And because there was one man that was like stopped in the Canadian border, like up, I feel like Vermont, New York area. Presents completely white, and so that when I saw that was like really concerning. That they're just like stopping anybody, but you never know what he did. Also, I guess to even be detained,
Right.
in that sense.
Yeah, that's the big part, is so many charges I see on like Judge TikTok are brought after a person was stopped or even detained without probable cause.
Yeah.
So it's real easy to say they were resisting arrest or obstructing justice if you provoke them by detaining them without probable cause. Because that would probably upset me. Patreon.com/JacobV. New stuff there. Blinded by Stereo, No Antics. You get early access to the podcast. There's tons of stuff there that you can go all the way back and check out. New EP on 10-inch vinyl coming this summer from Blinded by Stereo. Very exciting stuff. We're tracking new music with No Antics. Stay tuned for that. Lots and lots in store. I guess we could get back into the real shit. According to the internet, a serving of 10 Taco Bell chicken nuggets contains 670 calories, 33 grams of fat, 20 grams of carbs, and 72 grams of protein.
Yeah.
Doesn't that sound like too many?
Too many grams of protein?
That doesn't make any sense for a 10-piece chicken nugget.
Yeah.
Now, I had it for today for lunch, the 10-piece chicken nugget from Taco Bell, and I did some research with this. The official opinion online is that they use whole breast muscle tissue, and that is just naturally much higher in protein than, say, a ground chicken product you might find in a McNugget. However, 10 nuggets, that's
Wait,
like...
did you say McDonald's or Taco Bell?
These are the Taco Bell nuggets.
I believe you said McDonald's, but we're talking about Taco Bell.
I would mention I mentioned the McNuggets.
Okay, yeah. But you had the 10-piece Taco
I had a
Bell today.
10-piece Taco Bell nugget today for lunch,
Yeah.
and the internet is telling me that 10-piece nugget has 72 grams of protein.
Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
I don't know that that's possible. I ate these nuggets several times.
Yeah, I mean, That's a lot of fucking protein for 10 pieces. You know, I use like the bare.
Everything else makes sense. The carbs are probably low. The fat, or
fat's
whatever,
pretty big.
That makes sense. I mean, the carbs are probably reported low here. I would believe it was more carbs than what I had. But the protein just seems crazy.
Yeah.
But they attribute it to whole muscle chicken breast, which is denser in protein compared to processed chicken products.
Yeah, I like these, like, I think they're called like bare naked chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah, and
in the air
I
fryer.
was just about to look up and see how much is in there because those are great, and I bet they have way less fat. But those are only
also
15.
probably less protein. I don't know how. They got to be adding protein to it.
Yeah.
Which I'm not for. I'm not for secret protein.
One serving is 3 ounces, which is probably like 5 pieces. So maybe I'll just do 2 servings, just see.
Yeah, I definitely get the full 10 piece. I don't mess around.
That's only 30 grams of protein.
See, how many?
30 grams of protein for 2 servings of the Just Bare.
But is
Bare.
Is that only 6 strips, though?
It's the chicken breast bites. It's like nuggets.
How many?
I'm going to guess. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to guess. It's 6 ounces, but I'm going to guess how many nuggets that is. And that's probably 9 to 10 nuggets.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't know where they're getting that magical protein from in the Taco Bell nuggets, but the sauces are good. The jalapeno honey mustard is exactly how it sounds. It's lovely. The fire ranch is exactly what you would expect. It's fine. The Bell sauce is like if you mix Chick-fil-A sauce and Taco Bell like mild sauce. It's good.
That's good.
But they're like Popeye's dips. Like they're definitely like prepackaged in the thing. It's not as good as like the stuff they squeeze. Mm-hmm. They have an avocado ranch that you can get with the nacho fries, which also pairs nicely.
Yeah.
What's the first fast food item you remember being obsessed with?
Oh, man. Obsessed with.
Like,
I'm going to say the chicken fingers and gravy from Dairy Queen.
That's so crazy.
Because you got the toast, too.
It was like the most substantial box at the time, too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like you really wanted that. It was like... Good. I sent some research to the gentleman this morning, so he's not mad. He just sent me an email.
Oh, good.
What was I saying?
Best fast food.
But your thing was... The chicken box.
Chicken
but
box.
the first time I got that on my own, I thought that was going to be ranch in that cup. I didn't know it was going to be hot sausage gravy. So I got scared because the temperature was different than what I expected. I was like, the chicken was so hot it heated my ranch all the way through is what I thought happened until I tasted it. And it was, really good.
Yeah.
Back in those days, I remember the thing that I really loved and really wanted to focus on eating and enjoying was the Taco Bell enchilada, which was like an enchilada in a box.
Yeah.
And with the melted cheese and the red sauce. And that's why I always get a bean burrito, because the bean burrito has that same red sauce. And I love that red sauce.
Yes. And that's the same sauce that's on a Mexican pizza as well, is it not?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's another...
It's a great sauce.
Obsessive food.
Mexican pizza is a good one. I mean, Taco Bell was good at this, about things that it's all the same shit, but it looks different. The thing I remember really changing my life, because it would really beat me up, I never had to worry about being hungry afterwards, was the grilled stuffed burrito. The original grilled stuffed burrito at Taco Bell was really big. It had rice and beans and beef and all kinds of stuff in it, and they really seared the shit out of it on the outside. It was big and heavy.
Big.
One time my aunt saw me eating that. She said, "That is too much food." I'm like, "It's one burrito."
Yeah. Shut up, Sandy.
But other things, I always loved the innovation of the White Castle's chicken ring.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a nugget. Everyone's got a strip. McDonald's is bringing back the strips. They got the new McCrispy Select strips. And
nobody's doing a ring.
Nobody else is doing a ring.
Yeah, and I love the rings.
I love the ring. You can get them in the freezer section too at the grocery store.
Nice, yeah.
They're real good in the air fryer.
I bet they are.
And they don't smell like the burgers when you get them to put in the air fryer. Yeah. So if you're really just into the chicken ring and you don't like the smell of the burgers, which is the main downside, I think.
Definitely.
I mean, it's crazy. Can you imagine working in there?
Oh, no.
Woo!
Yikes.
Do they have White Castle everywhere now, or is it regional?
No, very regional. I mean, I think regional and then maybe a select few nationwide, just like that randomly pop up.
When I go to New Orleans, I like...
you can't even go to Kansas City and get a White Castle. You can get one on the way in Columbia, but...
In New Orleans, they have Crystal Burger, which is a lot like White Castle. Crystal Burgers, sliders. But the White Castle it's square, it's flat, it's small, and they cook it with cabbage and onions that smell very specific. And so that's what I was saying about, you don't want to work in there because you smell like that onion cabbage concoction, which also contributes to the gas, which is unpleasant. And I hate to take you on the whole trip. Is there a discontinued fast food item that you're just like, the enchilada is this for me?
Yeah.
That like, it'd be really hard for them to bring it back and make it as good.
Yeah. I don't have one right off the top of my head. I feel very satisfied with the options.
Yeah, they brought a lot of this stuff back. The McChicken is coming back any day now. It's either this month or next month.
Yeah, see, I didn't even know it left.
Not the McChicken, the snack wrap.
Oh, yeah.
Snack wraps
I did know that those left.
It's like the 16th of either this month or next month. They're kind of trolling us online, not letting us know. It'll be a surprise. I think it's also probably why the strips are back, though. I think it's...
Is the chicken Big Mac still... Is it gone?
Yeah, it's gone. They'll bring it back. It'll cycle in and out.
Yeah, for sure.
I love the chicken Big Mac.
Yeah, I wanted to get one, but...
I had several, and then I would often have points in the app for a free regular Big Mac, and so I would do a side-by-side for lunch, no fries, because as we've discussed on the show, 2 burgers is healthier than a burger and fries. So in this case, I'd have a whole Big Mac and a whole chicken Big Mac.
Yeah.
And I'm doing it's because I care about my body.
Yeah. That's really good to know. Why is it healthier? What is it? The quote unquote healthier? More protein?
I think the net carbs in the burger is lower than the net carbs in the fries.
I love a good quarter pounder.
And you could sneak some protein in, even a fast food burger.
Yeah.
And, the quarter pounder is excellent. I always get no pickles and onions just as a texture thing.
Nah, I get them. Yep.
But also, there's several times where I'll just be like, fuck it, I can do a pickle. I just have to hunt it down for my first bite.
If it doesn't have a pickle, I'm pissed.
No, see, that's the thing. Sometimes I'll get no pickle if I just want the chewy, smooth.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't want that crunchy.
Yeah.
Because it's especially the little diced onions. It's get out of here.
Yeah, actually, yeah, because sometimes they are too hard. Sometimes they're not.
And my
move
would be, if I really wanted those flavors on the thing, I would emulsify them in the sauce that I'm adding. And I would have all those sauces combined. The ketchup and mustard would be emulsified with the onions and the pickle. And it would just be,
The onions, the pickle.
And the pickle.
And the pickle.
And the pickles.
On the onions. Welcome to the BK Lounge. Disgrace.
Burger King is fun if you use the app. There's a couple times lately because I just can't have Taco Bell every day.
Yeah.
So there's a Burger King by me, and if I use the app, nobody else is using the app. A kid asked me the other day that was working there. He said, "So you don't have to pay for this?" I said, "Well, I already paid. I paid in the app."
Yeah.
But he didn't understand what the loyalty program was, and he thought I was
He worked there?
Yeah, he worked there.
Yeah.
And he said,
First
"How come you don't have to pay?" I said, "Well, I paid already in the app." He said, "Do you get like free stuff?" I said, "Yeah, sometimes."
Yeah. Mister, why don't you have to pay?
But that's how infrequently people that actually eat at Burger King do not want to use an app.
Yeah. I could see that.
If you're in Ferguson, Missouri, and you're going into a Burger King, you're not using the app unless you're me.
No. Yeah.
And the classic chicken sandwich, the oblong one, you can frequently find that buy one, get one in the app.
Oh, that's nice.
And that's a nice little lunch. No fries.
No fries.
Because I care about my body, I'll do a large onion ring. What?
It's got the vegetables in there.
It's a veggie.
It's a veggie.
It's a tempura veggie.
Yeah. Tempura.
Exactly.
That's loose.
That's what they should call it. Tempura onion circles.
Yeah. Yeah, they might get hype
I'm going to call Panda Express right now and say, listen, I have an idea for onion rings. We call them tempura onion circles.
Yeah.
I don't know why Burger King doesn't have calamari. Give me a pocket of onion rings. Give me a pocket of chicken fries, and I want a pocket of calamari.
Yeah, see.
I'm sure somebody does a good calamari frozen.
Yeah.
Breaded and frozen that you just flash fry and serve. You wouldn't eat calamari from a Burger King?
You wouldn't eat calamari from a Burger King.
You wouldn't download a house.
Oh,
you
man.
wouldn't steal a car.
You would, you wouldn't steal a scooter.
You're avoiding the question because you don't know if you would eat calamari out of a drive-thru, especially a Burger King.
I'm trying to decide which drive-thru I would let. And I think it's Panda Express.
Do you ever get down with Captain D's or Long John Silver's?
You know, I haven't in a very long time.
It's been a long time, but I think this one over here is still open.
I don't know over here, but
the one on Hampton, I think, is still open.
Oh, yeah. The Long John Silver's, and then the Captain D's is still doing really well at the corner of Shoto and Grand.
For the Lenten season, Burger King has had the Big Fish, which is their. It's like the size of a Whopper, but it's a fried fish fillet on that size of bun, and it's lovely. And they also do it with the fire sauce. You could do the fire sauce, which is like a Nashville style kind of. It's like a pepper grease.
Yeah. It's so difficult because I don't eat out fast food very often because money, and it's difficult to pick these other options that I wouldn't normally choose, you know?
Yeah, and this has been the curse of the app in the fast food community, is when you have the app, everyone knows everything on your menu, and they can peruse it for longer.
Yeah.
And they're not going with just what they know. They're going with whatever inspires them. And the number one people suffering from this has got to be pizza places. You know pizza orders are way weirder now that I can design that thing in the app for as long as it takes for me to get it right. I could do a quarter anchovy.
Yeah.
I want a quarter bell pepper. I want half bacon, but the other half has to be kosher. You somehow make it work.
Yeah.
And so the people that work at the fast food places, half of them obviously don't know about these apps, and they really don't like how it's interrupted their workflow because nobody has added staff to accommodate delivery. They're like, we're going to sell more burgers. You're going to work more of the time that you're on the clock. And but they haven't increase their headcount at all, and the even if they could, which they will tell you they can't. And then the app thing, they can just get bombarded with orders without even knowing it. I mean, you could come back from smoking a blunt in the walk-in, and you got 10 DoorDash orders that you didn't even know about.
Yeah,
which I like that I could submit my order without being gate kept.
Yeah.
But there is definitely like a shitty like privilege energy in that, and that like, yeah, you got to make my nuggets even if you didn't answer the speaker box that's in your fucking window already. You know what I mean?
Right.
Which is shitty.
Yeah, you know, the worst is for me has been ordering something and then showing up and the place is closed. Happened to me at a Subway.
Yeah, it happened a lot during COVID with Taco Bell because they would just close whenever they felt like closing, and not when the people that even owned the Taco Bell thought they were closing.
Yeah.
Because the app and the door and the Google listing and everything will say open till 11, and you pull up at 9:30 and they're like, no, we close.
Yeah.
That's happened to me at Lion's Choice too. Sometimes on the similar time frame. I was just in Columbia yesterday, Missouri. No Lion's Choice there.
Yeah, no, you skip and you go to Kansas City.
There's Lion's Choice in Kansas City?
Yes. Yeah. I think in like 2019, 2018, there's one in Blue Ridge. Right next to a DQ. You know, I really wish that Whataburger would make its way here. I don't think
I've had that.
The only reason I know that they're in Kansas City is because of Patrick Mahomes, and he doesn't have any business.
Are you sick of him?
No. But I'm also not in the feeds of football and stuff, so I'm just like, there's Kermit again.
I'm sick of Travis Kelce's brother.
Jason?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not even famous. Why is he famous?
For being a football player. He was pretty famous back in 2023.
He doesn't look like he's played lately.
He retired.
Oh, it looks like it.
Yeah. Yeah, he has retired.
Well, good
he
for
retired
him.
after that Super Bowl that he lost to his brother. Yeah.
That's probably the time.
Yep.
But it's weird. They're like in Pfizer commercials, and when I was in Kansas City with No Antics, they were like in all the gas stations there were like life-size cutouts of them.
Really?
Like advertising stuff. Like,
yeah. They love him there.
I was at that barbecue place
That's their hero.
in a gas station. I forget which one it is. And they had a big cardboard cutout of one of the Kelseys. Is there, like, do you have like a signature go-to fast food item if somebody tips you $20 and says, get yourself something nice, and you're like, you know what, on my way home, I have to have a...
God, right now, I'd probably go to Sonic.
Okay, I have also done that, because what I do is I look at because there's only fast food where I work, and I look at what's closest to there, and if they have an app, and then I find a good deal. And
work in the system.
And you start, and for a while, Sonic had a drink I loved called the Witch's Cold Brew. Witch's Brew, maybe? Just the Witch's Brew.
Witch's Brew, yeah.
And it was like a green apple slushy with salted caramel boba and a scoop of ice cream.
Oh, interesting.
It was really crazy. It was really good. But that's something you feel like an asshole because you put it in, and at Sonic, you pull up to the spot, you could check in the app, and they just bring you your food. They can't, like at McDonald's, somebody has to hit the button to say, approve this order. He's here. He's ready for it.
Yeah.
At Sonic, you don't even know if anyone's in the building, and you can check in and say, here's my weird order with the drink you've never heard of from the app you didn't know you had.
Yeah.
And I want the cheddar bites, and I want this, and I want that. You just get like one of everything on the dollar menu. You used to have the balls to say, I want one of everything off the dollar menu.
Yeah.
Now in the app, you could just click, 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 click. You pull up, you check in, and it comes out of the receipt printer in Sonic before they even know you're there.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably abusive to the people that work there. However, what do you get at Sonic?
I'll just get like a straight up, maybe like a double cheeseburger with all of the condiments, all of it on there. And then
I like the burger they had on Texas Toast. Do they still do that?
They do. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah. And then some tater tots. Got to do the tots. I'm doing tots.
Yeah. Not everybody has tots. You know what is good? They're kind of like tots, the little hash brown circles from Burger King breakfast.
Oh,
those are good. They don't even need nothing on them.
No.
And I love a McDonald's hash brown, but having them in little bites like that is fun.
If Dunkin' Donuts hash browns could figure out a way to make them greasy. They fumbled their menu
so hard. They used to have the best chicken biscuit, and they quit doing it.
See, but their hash browns are good, but they're dry.
Dry.
They're so dry.
Dry.
And I need Burger King to get those tots because they are seasoned to perfection.
Which ones are dry?
The Dunkin' Donut ones.
Yeah.
But they have a good taste, but very dry.
They're probably not even fried. They're probably like...
No, they're not.
Yeah, they're heated up in a toaster oven.
Yeah, exactly. Microwaved or some shit.
I mean, Steak and Shake's doing beef tallow.
Oh, are they?
Yeah. I saw a weird post.
Freddy's is another one that I would go to.
We have one of those in Fenton.
If you got one... no, that's Chick-fil-A. I was thinking in Hampton.
No. There's a Culver's in Crestwood, and there's definitely a Freddy's out in like Fenton, like Valley Park area.
Yeah, those are popular in St. Charles.
Freddy's?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen those out there.
Yeah. So I love a Freddy's because they got the steak burgers and they got fries. They got that good fry sauce.
And they have like frozen custard. Like you can get like a concrete or something.
Yeah, I'll get a concrete too. Yeah, I usually won't get a soda, but I'll get a concrete.
Yeah,
save the
sometimes that's
calories.
better. I probably have 36 Diet Cokes in the passenger seat of my car already, so sometimes a shake or something is a nice change of pace.
Definitely.
Jack in the Box chocolate shake.
Classic.
Surprisingly good. If you haven't had one in this decade, try the Jack in the Box chocolate shake.
Yeah.
The thing I've probably eaten the most of is probably the Taco Bell bean burrito, because it's really good for a hangover. And so if you're not that hungry, but you're hungover, you get a Baja Blast Zero and 2 bean burritos. Sometimes
they got that fountain over there?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
And yeah, that's where it originated.
No, I know. The Zero, though. I didn't know that they had
Sometimes
Zero.
in the hood, they're out of the Zero. The McDonald's downtown does not stock any sugar-free products on purpose.
On purpose?
like it's not like they're out of them when I go. It's like they told me, no, we don't ever have those. They never have Diet Coke at the Tucker McDonald's downtown. Never.
I'm trying to think of that's the Taco Bell on the Broadway. I don't know the Tucker one.
The McDonald's? It's on the other side of downtown from that Taco Bell you're thinking of. You're thinking about the Taco Bell
on Broadway,
southwest of the stadium.
Yep.
On Broadway.
Yeah.
This is going to be northeast of there, on the other side of downtown. The Taco Bell right before you leave downtown into the scary zone, like you're going to Crown Candy.
Oh, like the Del Mar Divide. Right?
Yeah, it's over there. It's like at
past Washington,
Tucker and
Tucker and
18th or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's the voice I got to do when we're talking local. You go down Tucker.
Yeah.
Keep your gun pointed at the people at the McDonald's until they hand over the Diet Cokes that they don't have.
Yeah. For protection.
Speaking of which, a local doctor killed by police after resisting arrest for harassment and tampering charges.
Lord.
He was a Mercy doctor.
Okay.
And he was my stepdad's new doctor. And he was...
Recently?
Well, the body cam footage just came out this week, but it happened a couple months ago, I thought.
Okay.
And my in-laws, they had both just signed up with this new doctor, and then Mercy reached out to them, and all three of them, and said, yeah, your doctor's no longer with Mercy.
Oh, my God.
And then we find out it's because he was shot and killed by police.
Oh, my God.
He had gotten in some kind of altercation with somebody, maybe his ex-wife or something, at the park, and then the police came to detain him to question him about that situation, and then... He started to run off, and then he pulled a gun on him, and they were screaming at him, "Please don't do this!" And he kept fighting them, and they had to shoot him. A doctor.
Nobody's safe.
Nobody is safe. Anybody could be crazy.
And man, they didn't try and tase him first. I mean, like
they did tase him in the body cam footage. They tased him a couple of times, and he was wearing layers, and they couldn't get through. I don't think he kept coming at him.
I mean, like, people just like to be in that sort of like mindset where you...
I can't imagine wanting to pull a gun on the police. I would be more scared that I had a gun and I didn't want them to find it.
Is it an audacity? Is it the audacity to pull a gun on the police?
If he was being brought in on charges of harassment of, I believe, a lady, he must be crazy enough to then also... Yeah.
Let's get back to... Do you know anything more about the...
I want to say the original story. It's kind of been swept up since I think Mercy kind of got on it, and it's But the... I want to say originally it was like he had like an altercation with his ex-wife, and like did something to her car, and then it's just she was going to press charges, and they wanted to question him on harassment and tampering with property.
Yeah, because you said something about
I think they were separated.
Or something.
I think they were going to get
I was thinking it was about like his practice.
No, I don't think it was related to that at all. I think it was
domestic.
totally personal. Yeah. He's in a big network. He wasn't really involved in.
Yeah, because it's not like he's about to be like disgraced. You're just like.
But this also happened to my in-laws with their dentist. The dentist they first had when they first moved to St. Louis for years ended up closing his practice, and then he got arrested for like stalking his ex-wife.
Wow.
Something like that.
You got to be obsessive about something, and I think doctors are people that are obsessive for the best reasons. Because if you're not obsessed, then what's propelling you to make?
Yeah, I don't want a doctor. I don't want a doctor that's not obsessed with medicine.
Yeah, exactly.
I was really lucky to start my treatment for my sleep apnea with a pulmonologist that was really a genius and taught me all kinds of things just because he was passionate about it. He was learning about it all the time and had, like I've always loved Dr. Drew, even though like I would never want to have to relate with him I don't want to have Thanksgiving with Dr. Drew. No. That sounds intimidating and maybe obnoxious. But when somebody actually knows some stuff and has actually done real work, and then they're still interested enough to keep talking to people about it, it's always so interesting.
Yeah. I mean, 99% of my sex education comes from Dr. Drew. From those late night, like I would listen to him falling asleep on the radio, and I'm like,
especially because you had probably abstinence only.
Yeah. Abstinence, natural family planning.
In some people call the 40 corridor, like where I went to high school, there's this kind of more progressive approach where the school taught us all kinds of things that I never even needed to know.
Yeah.
and it was horrifying. And but I've also worked in a lot of places that are like abstinence only, and there's just no real education around that whole aspect of life in a way that's so those things are kind of necessary. Now those same kids I'm thinking about are not listening to Loveline.
Loveline, that's what it was. Yep.
Yeah. And no, that was, I mean, I think a lot of people have that feeling, especially if you went to Catholic school. I mean, and the radio being free, and you could, listen to it kind of in secret or like in a car.
Yeah.
I remember listening to segments and like sitting in my car in front of my house waiting to go in until I found out what happened. I've been addicted to, there was a radio show that ended actually officially in 2020 called Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
Oh, yeah.
Where they would do this thing called the second date update, where they would, somebody would go on a date.
Yes, I've
been doing this for days, and somebody would go on a date, and then they wouldn't be able to get a hold of that person they went on a date with, but they would want to figure out what they did wrong. So the radio station would call them. I don't know how they get people to answer their phones. Even
I don't know either.
Everyone's always answering the phone.
Yeah, like there must be something on the caller ID.
Do not call me.
There's got to be something on the caller ID.
Somehow they're getting through. There's also segments but Jubal left, and so he does a thing called the first date follow up on his show called The Jubal Show now. I think they're in Seattle. But people have been making clips of these for the socials, and it reminds me, when I was a kid, we would listen to like the Jerky Boys, which are all radio prank calls, and those were really great. But back when people would answer the phone, that was in the 90s. You answered the phone. You didn't even know who was on it half the time.
No.
And they would call businesses a lot of the time. That's a lot of it, which I feel bad with wasting people's time at work. But if you're at work, somebody's going to answer that phone probably. I get so mad because of how we were trained in our retail environment. If I'm in a business and I hear the phone ring more than twice, I start looking around.
Yeah.
Like, do you want me to get it?
Yeah.
Anybody I ever reported to in a retail environment would have my head if I just stood next to a ringing phone.
Right.
It's so crazy how that was not that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, I used to like prank call neighbors, and then I didn't know about Star 69, so they would call me back, and I'd pick it up, and they'd be like, "Did you just call me?"
Yeah.
And I'd say, "No."
Wasn't there also a Star 60 something to
Star
block
67?
That? Yeah, so they couldn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but that's the thing now. I don't know how anyone answers the phone. But I have so much trauma.
And stay on the phone.
Like, in my brain of all these people that I don't even know who are talking about these terrible dates they went on. And they also do, like, they'll act like they're somebody else and try to get somebody to admit that they're cheating on somebody or whatever. And I'm like, my God.
Yeah, that was crazy.
People are just messing their lives up every day.
Yeah, I just listened to one where the guy had kind of like ghosted this girl, and she was like, I thought we had like a really good time or whatever. And it turns out that he was hit by a car helping her search for her cat. That's what it was.
He went out. Yeah, I saw this one. He went out looking for this girl's cat because the cat was missing, and it kind of ruined their date because she was really upset about it. And then he got hit by a car.
Yes, and was like hospitalized for days.
Yeah.
And
that's why he didn't get back to her.
Exactly.
I heard one today. It was a girl who was a fitness model and was obviously very intense and obsessed with fitness. And she could not understand why this guy wouldn't call her back, even though she described a date that to me sounded crazy.
Yeah.
But the thing she left out that he reveals is that 10 minutes into the date, she says, I'm going to go pop one of these. Do you want one? And it's a digestive probiotic suppository that she makes herself at home because she's trying to develop the perfect digestive suppository for to take to the marketplace.
Yeah. Crazy.
So I just met you. We've only talked on Hinge. You meet me at the bar. We're going to have dinner. And I say, hey, here's a suppository.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do one. You want to get in on this?
You want to pop one of these?
And then she didn't understand why that guy wasn't into that.
Yeah.
This is the thing, too. I think this is good for parents. If you listen to this kind of stuff and you, like that we're talking about, and you have children that are going to date someday, maybe it's okay to, like, prep them for, like, how to behave on a date. Or realistic expectations in dating.
Yeah.
Because there's just a lot of people that have never been in therapy.
Definitely.
That are out there on the apps. I don't understand.
You know, yeah, kids aren't dating right now.
I don't blame them.
Yeah. I mean, Some are, but like, I mean, I have like, no teenagers that haven't been on dates and they're like 17, 18, and they're obviously they're capable of getting dates, and it's jarring. And they hang out at home. They don't go like drinking and stuff.
Yeah, like, that's the weirdest thing. Is like I think we lost a lot of the in-person hangs in quarantine. Mm-hmm. And then also just because people are criminals and monsters, no one wants to not be able to know where their kids are. Where I could lie to my parents, and because we didn't have iPhones yet, mm-hmm. and say, "Oh, I'm going to spend the night at David's. We're going to play PlayStation." But then me and David could go get alcohol poisoning in a field. Mm-hmm. And did.
Yeah.
And slept it off. And now, like, I can tell you where half the people in my family are right now. Mm-hmm. Because of Find My iPhone or whatever.
Yeah.
And in part because, it's good if you're hanging out with somebody to know how far away they are, or like if... you need to know who's around to let the dogs out, or there's different safety things. I could find your phone if you get murdered. Mm-hmm. But also, I would have just had to leave my phone somewhere. I think people are doing that too. I've known people to bust their kids leaving their phone at one place and mm-hmm. then going to another, mm-hmm. so that they think they're with their phone.
Interesting.
Not to give any kids at home any ideas.
Yeah. No kids are listening to this.
Kids at home, if you're listening to this, don't. And certainly don't leave your phone at one place and go to another place to besmirch your parents. Mm. Oh, God. Trump says he's ending federal funding for NPR and PBS. They say, legally, he can't.
Yeah, let's hope that he can't.
I think this is the approach. I don't necessarily know that it's fascism to the extent that people on social media want to say that it is. But I think the approach is, and this is how he's done a lot of things, is let's just try to do everything we want to do, and they have to take us to court to stop us.
Oh, for sure. He's throwing shit at the wall.
I've known people who have admitted to intentionally not paying rent until they get sued for it so they could settle for less than the original rent was. In a commercial sense.
Yeah.
Which I'm not for. And this is that exact same thing. Like, let's just write executive orders, and if they can keep up with them, they have to stop us in court.
Yeah. And then we're going to arrest the judges,
and then they're going
that don't agree.
And you really only have to arrest one to make your point.
Yeah.
I don't think it's actually going to stick with NPR and PBS, but I get the argument. I mean, the public ones are the more left leaning, it would seem. But that's because the commercial options are just the rich people that can afford a platform in their perspective.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's just like why my uncle gets upset because my cousins and I are so much more left-leaning than him and his brothers. But I'm like, you guys went to a suburban high school in the 80s. I went to public schools in the 90s, and some of the most effective legislation in integrating and fortifying public schools for my generation was stuff that happened in between mm-hmm. then and when I got there. And so the rhetoric in public schools was a lot more liberal than it in the 90s than it would have been in the 80s or certainly the 70s, because you had to keep everybody in school, and the students were the ones with the rights to their education, and it was very different. We had to try to at least pretend to get along with everybody to get through the school day. Whereas you used to just let those people quit going to school. Nobody would go looking for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, literally. Like runaways, I mean, that was like a huge narrative, 70s, 80s.
I saw a thing, a guy was saying a substitute teacher told him when he was a kid in rural Texas that he would only ever be good for driving a tractor. And so he never went back to that school.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nobody chased him down either. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That small rural public school was like, oh, good riddance. Who knows where he went? Cardinals at a crossroads. While some want to continue Francis's reforms, others want a different kind of pope. I don't think the actual conclave begins until May 7th. Mm-hmm. but ahead of time, people are trying to get the pregame scoop on which way people are leaning. Now, here's the interesting thing. A couple of the candidates seem like really progressive options demographically, but they're much more conservative in their doctrine.
Mm-hmm.
Pope Francis was a pretty inclusive liberal guy as far as popes go.
Yeah.
And some people are really anti that, and some people want that to continue. And it's just funny. I have been saying this. Having a black pope would be really cool.
Yeah.
Because there's never been one.
Mm-hmm.
However, the black candidates for pope right now
mm-hmm.
have some, very conservative perspectives on the dogma and the doctrine.
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, are we really trying to move Catholicism forward?
I think that's the thing people are trying to wrestle with.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, because you don't need.
You think they're going to take away.
You
stuff?
don't need to change it unless you want to grow it. And do we need to grow it?
Yeah.
Or do we, allow it to be kind of?
I think it just depends on what's the center of their mission. What is the center of the mission of the Pope? Like, is it to get more asses in pews?
I think he's guarding all the loot that they've hoarded.
Yeah, the tabernacle
and the secrets,
the covenant,
the Ark of the Covenant, which was in Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah,
that was a replica, actually.
Mm-hmm.
They said.
Yeah,
I wonder what that is.
Yeah, I wonder what that is.
You unplugged something.
I'm just sitting here.
Yeah, you're right. I think you are just sitting. I don't think anything's wrong. The Studio One still recording?
Yeah.
Okay, then we're good.
It's still going.
Everything's great. So, there it is. So, children, I just want you to think when you're casting your vote for the next pope, you got to think about two things. You got to think, why do we need one? And is this one going to do that thing that I think he's supposed to do? That's all you can do anymore. I don't even think we vote on the Pope. The Cardinals are going to do it.
Yeah, Cardinals are going to do it.
And do you know any Cardinals?
The only one is...
Do you know any Roman Catholic Cardinals?
The Burke, that bitch from St. Louis.
There's a Cardinal from St. Louis?
There's a Cardinal from St. Louis, Archbishop, or I guess Cardinal Burke or whatever. All I know is that people are upset with him. That's all I can tell you.
Let me find out why. Raymond Leo Burke.
Yeah.
76 years old. Raymond Leo Burke is an American prelate of the Catholic Church. He is a bishop and a cardinal and was the patron of the Sovereign Military Order of Malta from 2014 to 2023. He led the Archdiocese of St. Louis from 2004 to 2008 and the Diocese of La Crosse from 1995 to 2004. He's one of 10 U.S. cardinals prepping to elect the next pope. But what's wrong with them? Let's find out.
It's something, obviously, from that time, 2004, 2008.
Oh, from his St. Louis days?
20 years ago, yeah. So
apparently Donald Trump wants Raymond Burke to be the next pope.
There you go. You can tell
Conservative cardinals attack Pope Francis's legacy. He's probably one of those. He's not from St. Louis.
No.
He was just the presiding cardinal here.
Yeah.
A lot of back and forth on this. He seems to be a more conservative option, and that may be some of the heat he's getting. Because that's the thing too. I would imagine if you're elected to a position like that,
yeah,
I don't think it's good for the institution to talk shit on all the things the last guy said.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you really believe deeply they have to be uprooted and removed. So coming in and acting like any of the inclusion and welcoming that Pope Francis may have done of previously less welcome groups, I don't know that undoing that is the move.
Yeah.
It's
I
better
don't,
to
I
tell
don't know if
people.
they're a roll it back type of people. I think they're a move it forward, and in a way where it's like let's just correct this a different way. You know,
Because I don't know. Have you watched Conclave?
no. Is that a show or a movie or just this whole?
It's
you're
like
talking
a
about the
show
whole-
that's like out now. That's about this process, coincidentally, which makes you wonder.
Yeah. No, the Righteous Gemstones is the only religious show I'm
Oh
watching.
no, they're not Catholic.
No, they're not. No, they're. I don't even know.
Sorry, I'm just reading about popes. No big deal. No
biggie.
big deal. So, other things on the horizon. There's gigs coming up this month with Kits Row, Blinded by Stereo. I don't think No Antics is playing again until June because there's production happening. I just wrapped a lovely weekend with Caris, St. Louis Women's Choir,
Oh, nice.
at the Third Baptist Church in Grand Center.
You recorded them?
No, I played guitar for them.
Oh, awesome.
And they have a very sensitive older gentleman who comes to do the recording. And that's a cool old building. That's a crazy building I got lost in.
What building is it again?
It's Third Baptist Church, which is on the corner of Grand and Washington, the catty corner from the Fox.
Oh. Yeah. I
Big
wouldn't even
stone
know.
church. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Labyrinthium, but there's like a school upstairs, and some of it's not in use, and it's like split level when you get up there. And the AC this time of year in an old building like that is real hit or miss.
Yeah.
So I've lost all my water weight this week.
Sounds like a mess.
It's a yeah. And as far as the AC is concerned,
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time huddled in a choir office with no AC, and beautiful acoustics in there though. My God.
My God.
Is an awesome God, he reigns from heaven above.
With wisdom and power and love.
I mean, we should do like a live stream tent revival. Just set all this stuff up outside and just see who shows up. I don't even know what the people need right now.
Jesus.
But what from him?
His love.
I think it's a good start.
You need his love.
There's
you need
definitely
to feel him inside of you.
Yeah, you got to be full of the Holy Ghost because,
Let him fill you up.
yeah, I don't know what else is going to do it for you.
Fill you up. Let him fill you up.
Is that a song?
Nope. That is now.
We should do that. I would love to do like really like sexy like R&B, but like about Jesus.
'Cause baby, when you fill me up, it makes me so excited to get and roll.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like yeah, and because I just
You can't really get sexy with that.
the organ is not the thing that's sexy.
It's not the
that's
sexy.
not the thing. I meant more about like lyrically.
Exactly. Yeah,
And-
no, for sure.
But yeah, definitely like a sexy R&B ballad, but you make it about being full of the Lord.
Yes.
I mean, I think that's a thing that people are going to be doing.
'Cause when he comes inside me,
Yeah,
I know it's right.
yeah.
And when I feel him lightly, I know it's time to go back to him. Fill me up.
It's like
up with
even if it's like a
your-
reimagining, like instead of "Can I smell your dick," like it could be.
Can I smell your
remember that one?
dick? How does that one go?
Why you coming home 5 a.m? Something's going on. Can I smell your dick? Don't play me like a fool, 'cause that ain't cool. What you need to do is let me smell your dick.
Yeah.
I mean that one, but then if we could just pivot a little bit and make it Christian. Let me smell your faith. Let me smell your praise.
Yeah. Come on, let me smell your praise.
That's not bad. That's not. See how quickly you could do it? How quick it is? But my body's telling me, yeah.
Yes, Lord. 'Cause I know you're gonna fill me up tonight.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. I don't think enough worship happens at night. You want to keep people...
No, yes, it does. At the chapel, you got to do your adoration. That's what happens, because in the chapel, the tabernacle is never alone. The body of Christ is never alone. And so people sign up to have an hour long or however long, portions. And sometimes you'll wake up at 2 a.m. and you gotta go sit in the chapel and keep the body of Christ company.
Somebody always has to be there?
Yes, my parents did that. My parents would wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning and go sit in the chapel with the...
Is that to keep the Holy Ghost there?
It's...
I've never heard that.
I don't know about keeping the Holy Ghost. I think it's more of like a keeping them company, keeping them... making sure nobody fucks with them.
And making sure nobody steals his shoes.
Yeah.
So people are always in the tabernacle.
Yeah.
Somebody's always there.
Somebody's always
hanging
there.
out, communing with the spirits.
Yeah.
That's what real community is, folks.
Yeah.
You can't just lay around and do whatever makes you feel good and expect your children to grow up to be successful people that care about community.
Mm-hmm. So whenever my parents took me to the chapel when they thought I was possessed after seeing the Passion of the Christ, there was somebody else in there.
Somebody was already there. They
Somebody
said,
was
hey,
already
what
there.
brings you in this evening?
Why does this keep happening? I think it's these pants keep making my fucking...
You're leaning on them? Your pants are too tight?
Stop. Yeah, because it keeps making my fucking like Apple emergency go off. So annoying. How embarrassing.
No, I would be embarrassed if I was you.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed.
Like, I guess if you get enough people, like your parents weren't there every day. Like they split it out over the month,
Over the week. Yeah. And you could switch out, if one of them was tired, the other one could, if somebody's, on 10, I got an extra 20%. So I can go for you. Other times it would be like hours because you can't leave. You can't leave until the next person comes. So if somebody slept with their alarm, you're there for 3 hours. Or until the next person comes.
That was the question. How long are the shifts? Or is it supposed to be?
I always, it was an hour.
It's supposed to be an hour.
It's supposed to be an hour. And, they have some sort of, I don't know what the sign up thing was. It's like a freaking adoration tree or whatever. Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
That's the thing. You want to keep your kids out of trouble and off the streets? Take them to church. Sit up in church with them. I think.
Just be up in the middle of the night for an hour. Just see what happens.
Yeah, or give yourself a reason to leave your kids unattended in the middle of the night to go watch an empty church. Mm-hmm. It's not empty of the Lord,
no.
But you're the only person there.
His Spirit will fill you up. It'll take you for a ride and fill you up.
Especially when you're alone in the chapel late in the evening.
Make you feel good inside.
I'm sure. I mean, the blood of Jesus.
Tastes good.
There's the thing I saw on Instagram. A priest was complaining that he has to chase people down if they don't consume the host right away. Some people will take it not in the mouth but in the hand, but they'll walk away with it.
Oh, sure.
You're supposed to take it right away.
Mm-hmm.
So he has to stop what he's doing, chase people down and say, hey, you have to consume the host.
Yeah. You're going to consume that host.
And he was really upset that he had to remind people.
Like, what are they doing with it?
I remember a scandal broke out. We found out my uncle's wife's church, they were throwing out the host.
What?
That the leftover host.
Aren't they all blessed?
Well, that's the thing. You're not supposed to throw out the host. I don't
That's
care.
all the
I don't
body
care
of
if you got a
Christ.
whole box.
You can't throw out the body of Christ.
Once it's been
It's not biodegradable.
Once it's been sanctified for the use of communion, you should not throw it out. I think the priest, though, is the one who's supposed to eat it all.
He do be munching up there. There's that part
'Cause you can't
where
throw
he
out the host.
eats the whole fucking the whole cracker.
Oh my God.
There's like a good 30
thing that would
seconds
upset
to a
me
minute of
is
him
when
just
we would do communion,
chomping.
they would like send the Eucharist around the little wafers like we're used to, but then up there they'd be breaking up like a big beautiful fresh loaf of bread.
Yeah.
I'm like, can I get a chunk of that?
What do you mean passing around?
Oh, because this was UCC when I was doing this.
Oh, gotcha.
And so
There's no line.
the ushers are they bless all the host and the hooch in front of you, and then the ushers are allowed to walk it out to you in the pews.
Oh, good.
Yeah, which in Catholicism they would never allow.
Never allow.
You got to get in that fucking line.
Yeah.
And I'm going to
It
judge
comes
your
from
shoes,
certain-
and if your socks don't match, and if you look like shit, everyone's going to know.
If anything, it's just a little bit more sanitary.
Well, yeah, this was like everything was kind of sectioned off.
You know-
It wasn't a cup either. There were little shots.
I loved being on wine duty, though.
Yeah, why?
Because you had the little cloth and you would wipe the edge, after everybody had their little sip, and then you go and you would wipe the edge.
Yeah,
and
this
then,
was a
and then,
much
and
more-
then you rotate, and then the next person gets the side.
Would you believe that in non-Catholic establishments, some people are all getting a little plastic shot? This is what happened
Yeah.
at my historically integrated UCC church that we ended up going to because I got kicked out of Catholic school. Was they had a tray, like you'd see in like New Orleans, of like 40 little tiny shots of either wine,
Yeah.
or they also had non-alcoholic grape juice.
See, but then you couldn't see your friends walking past you and give little faces back and forth. Not at this,
Yeah.
Yeah,
and again, in a Catholic parish, this would never go down. People
No.
would be really upset about this.
Definitely.
But in this church, we had all kinds of people in there. So those people that would be upset about the change to the communion were already kind of upset, I think.
Yeah.
That we were worshiping with these other people. So, yeah. But, yeah, you're not supposed to throw out the host. I know that much.
No. I'm sure he munches in the back,
Yeah.
though.
But is there anything that says it can't be a broccoli cheddar bread bowl?
I don't think so, because it's not that they're using anything special. It's just, wheat and water.
Yeah. I mean, the sourdough...
I saw somebody make Rice Krispie treats with those wafers.
With the Eucharist wafers?
Yeah.
And they would...
They just kind of like haphazardly threw
They
it all in a bowl.
folded them with the marshmallow fluff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
and
might
needed
have
a
to
little riplet
try
seasoning.
that. Yeah.
We're going red hot with I think a sweet Eucharist is a good idea. They're putting Cinnamon Toast Crunch flavor on everything. I have Cinnamon Toast Crunch
It gives you
taco
cream
shells.
of wheat taste anyway,
Yeah,
minus the sugar.
right.
You get that from the wine.
Yeah, you put the wine
Good
on it.
pairing.
Oh, we should do a wine-flavored Eucharist. Like how they do
Two
the
in one.
wine-flavored blunts with the wood tips.
Yeah.
You do... What if
Yes.
the Eucharist was wine-flavored?
Yeah. I think it would look really pretty.
It would be a beautiful color. Mm-hmm. And then what if it was like sour grape? Sour grape
And people are just like walking back
wine-flavored Eucharist.
with these like sourpuss faces. Like,
They're like, the Lord is strong today. Oh,
oh, Lord, fill me up.
man. Well, this has been great.
Yeah.
And I feel full of the Holy Spirit. I feel rejuvenated. And wine-flavored Eucharist is like, now I want something wine-flavored.
I would love even just a dip. Just a dip.
Oh.
Like
if
the chip and the
Eucharist,
wine.
You dip it in, if it was like a wine jelly.
Yeah.
Like a Jello shot.
Ooh, yeah.
Like a wine Jello shot.
With
And then you scoop it.
Yeah. And you scoop it.
Or if it's like a syrupy reduction like you would put on ice cream.
Yeah, because I think that more resembles blood.
Yeah.
So
and
I
you
think-
dip in the reduction.
Yeah. I think a nice, or a berry compote. A wine
I love a
compote.
berry compote.
Yeah.
I remember going to J-Bucks in the mall and getting the berry compote with my whatever
Yeah.
I had there. Wine-flavored Eucharist, sour grape powder on the outside.
Yeah. Yes.
Because maybe sweet is more the move. I have Cinnamon Toast Crunch taco shells upstairs. There's Cinnamon Toast Crunch bacon out there in the world. They put Cinnamon Toast Crunch on something else recently that was just ridiculous. And
Yes. I'm trying to remember.
It's everywhere.
It is.
But you got to
everywhere.
guard yourself. You got to
I
protect
think
yourself from that.
Did you say ice cream?
There's definitely ice cream.
Yeah.
There's definitely ice cream. There's something that makes a little bit less sense.
Yeah.
That's popping off out there.
Like cinnamon sugar crunch.
Cinnamon toast crunch.
Cinnamon toast crunch.
Specifically.
Cinnamon toast crunch grilled cheese.
Cinnamon toast.
Oh, that's that new footlong at Subway.
There's cinnamon toast crunch bacon, cinnamon toast crunch taco shells, cinnamon toast crunch. There's a version of it called loaded. I don't know what that would be. Yeah, what are the cinnamon toast crunch products here? Can I get a breakdown? I want the collab products though. There's a protein bar, cinnamon toast crunch donut shop coffee for your Keurig, cinnamon toast crunch soft baked oat bars. Oh, this is the one. Cinnamon toast crunch flavored bugles.
That makes sense.
Cinnamon toast crunch flavored marshmallows. Cinnamon toast crunch creamy cinnamon spread, which is like a peanut butter substitute.
Ooh.
Cinnamon toast crunch frosting. Cinnamon toast crunch Cinna dust. It's like a shake on cinnamon toast crunch you can put on anything. And cinnamon toast crunch popcorn. 2 whole pages of different. So, and that's a demon. You want to talk about the mark of the beast? It's
Yes.
cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah.
Don't get got. You need a wine-flavored sour grape Eucharist.
Don't ever give your soul away to cinnamon toast
Don't
crunch.
you ever give your soul to Satan. Guys, thanks for checking out Jacob V Weekly. Feel free to check out Caddyshack of Hamill, Illinois. Save a Life for 9. JacobV.com, Patreon.com/JacobV. You will not regret the content you find there. I swear to God. It's $1 a week. You could access everything for a month and decide it's not for you, but make the choice. Lessons still? Doorstop-studio.square.site? No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's for the rest of the month.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Yeah.
This will go out this
Still doing
weekend,
lessons.
so,
Yeah.
For sure. So, check it out. We love you.
Yeah, eventually it'll just be